Hey, welcome to part 2 of the Enhancement Talent. Eric Cornish along with the Rob Bartlett of our show.
Don't you dare call me that. I'm the Rob from 106.1 KISS FM, and I'm the star of this show. I think we all know that. I'm no Rob Bartlett.
Hey, you're much closer to at least the Bobby Heenan of this show.
I think so. I think I'm Robbie the Brain Hirschbiel.
There you go. There you go. I like that. All right, let's talk about what else is going on in the wrestling world. Daniel Bryan, that's what everybody seems to be talking about these days, especially with the neck injury. As we talked about last week, it seems like this title run is unfortunate, if nothing else, for Daniel Bryan. But the question is, what do they do? Do they strip the title off of him? If they do, what do they do with it? What do you think?
It has been an incredibly tragic and heroic, run. It started off so well, and when he won, he got married, and then dad dies, then the neck injury, and it's been a rough, month or so for Daniel Bryan. It depends on how long he's going to be out. Jack Tunney was very, very strict about that 30-day, you defend the title. Was every 30 or every 60
30.
days?
It was every 30 days.
Listen.
God rest his soul, Jack Tunney. We need you.
If Daniel Bryan can defend within 30 days, go ahead and let him keep it on him. If it's going to be more than a month or two, which it probably will be, we need to do something with it. And that it sucks to say that. We all want him to do well, but you can't have the champ on the bench for months.
Right. Let's say they take the title off of him. What happens with it? Where do they go?
I've always been a big fan of tournaments. I like the King of the Ring style bracketing, but it seems like they don't anymore. Like they never. We saw one for the Intercontinental number one contender. If they would just do a world Deadly Games, give me Deadly Games. I'd be just totally cool with that.
Yeah. Okay. And so you have the tournament. Who wins it?
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. I'd have to give that some thought. I don't even know. I don't know how to answer that.
I think there's one or two ways to go. I think one is better. I think you could go and have the tournament, and then have an unlikely winner come out of it. Maybe have a Randy Orton go to the finals, and it seems like he's going to win, but then loses to somebody, say a Cesaro, say I don't know who even a Roman Reigns, or even a Bray Wyatt for that matter.
If we're going with the tournament road, let me throw this at you, because my understanding is they pay Brock by the night. You can have him demolish everybody in this tournament and then have Bryan come back and get that big win that he needs, win his title back, and get that feud with Lesnar in.
Well, here's the I like Lesnar. I like the thought of Lesnar as a champion, but the amount of dates that Lesnar's working, wouldn't it just be as well just to keep it on Bryan at that point?
Well, you can get the 3 matches out of him. You give him a Raw 2 weeks after that to hold him over to the next pay-per-view. And then the next pay-per-view, you bring Bryan in, or I don't know what you do, or maybe you shell out some cash to Brock.
Here's what I'm thinking. I think is the best option. Either a tournament or some kind of one night. Or think about this: you've already got a 6-man tag team match already set up for Payback. What if the WWE World Heavyweight Championship is on the line in that 6-man title match between the Shield and Evolution? Whoever gets the pin in that match becomes the champion. That way, now you're going to tease a little tension between both factions. And who comes out the winner? Triple H. Because I can already see the DVD or network special now, Daniel Bryan's Rise to Glory, and you talk about, and there it was, his moment at WrestleMania, and then what happens? Oh, his dad dies, he has a neck injury, he has surgery, and it seemed like his shot is done. Triple H wins, and then again, he has to come back, fight the odds, beat Triple H to gain that title once again. I think that would create some pretty good buzz. I do think it's obvious we need a heel in that spot. A heel has to be the champion at this point. All right.
So, yeah, I want to make it very clear, though, if it's a tournament, I want it to be in one night. I don't want it to be over the course of many weeks on Raw. Just please, I love the one-night tournaments. They're very exciting to me.
Very cool. And one more other thing I pointed out, I just found out last night on Facebook, and this is a very interesting thing. Mick Foley has said he's got a major announcement regarding his career that he's going to announce on Tuesday of this week. It was just, the way it was phrased was interesting. I don't know what that means for Mick Foley. What would you gather from that?
With Mick Foley, it could be anything. It could be he's working on a new children's book. It could be he has a new date for a stand-up comedy tour. I mean, it could be he's returning to wrestling. I don't expect it to set the wrestling world ablaze.
My first reaction, especially since I've seen some teasing on this, is that he will some way be involved with Global Force Wrestling and Jeff Jarrett.
Really?
I do think so. Jeff Jarrett has aired some teaser videos of Mick Foley talking about the wrestling business and how it is structured. They've put some other pictures up there, which are obviously not going to happen with contracted TNA talent and things like that. I think just to tease people. But the Mick Foley thing, I think will happen, and I think he will be in some way part not non-wrestling capabilities there for Global Force Wrestling and Jeff Jarrett.
If I have to make an official prediction, I'm going to go ahead and say, now I haven't seen the teaser, I haven't seen the Jeff Jarrett stuff or the Mick Foley thing. I'm going to say he's got some sort of show coming on the network. Like he's going to be part of some sort of review show or part of a panel or something like that. If I had to venture a guess.
That, I will go ahead and say that it's not going to happen. He has recently turned down his contract, his Legends contract, with WWE. I think he's looking to distance himself, which he does every now and then. Yeah, so that's my prediction on that. I'll look forward to seeing what that announcement is. If it's a new children's book, I will be thoroughly disappointed, but I'll read it. He's a good author.
Will you really?
I'll read it to my kids. They might like the hardcore legend talking about barbed wire matches on the playground. I don't know.
I have his 3 autobiographies. I've only read the first 2. I would never read any of his fiction, I don't think. But there you go.
Yes. All right. Well, anything else going on in the wrestling world you want to talk about?
No, I'm excited to see what happens tonight on Raw, even though it's a tape show, and we can talk about if anything exciting does happen. We'll talk about that with everyone on Thursday.
Very good, and I appreciate you hanging out with us for another edition of the Enhancement Talent. You got any questions, comments, anything you want us to talk about in the wrestling world? You know where to find us, and there's the info right there. So, for the Rob and for me, Eric Cornish, this is the Enhancement Talent. Have a great week.